Have you ever thought about how the world's biggest superpower ended up with $39 trillion in debt? Probably not, right? No problem. Today, I'm going to explain it to you in simple words, how we got here, why it matters, and what it could mean for all of us. Look, this $39 trillion isn't just some number in a report. It's real borrowed money. The biggest debt holders are Japan with $1.2 trillion, the UK with $926 billion, China with $652 billion, and many other countries. And this debt is growing so fast that most of us can't even wrap our heads around it. But don't worry, I'll break it down for you easily. How we reached here, why it's important, and what it could mean for ordinary people like you and me. Every year, the federal government spends way more than it earns through taxes. This gap is called a deficit. To cover it, they borrow money by selling treasury bonds. Over the decades, these deficits have piled up into this massive national debt. Right now, it's around 120% of our entire economy's yearly output. To put it in perspective, in the early 2000s, it was only about 60%. Something clearly changed. Part of it is simple math. We have big popular programs like Social Security and Medicare that are growing because more people are retiring. Healthcare costs keep rising. Then there are wars, financial crises, and pandemic spending, all of which added more layers of borrowing. Both political parties have contributed to this. One side cuts taxes while keeping spending high. The other expands programs without fully paying for them. The result? Trillion-dollar deficits have become almost normal. In recent years, we've been running deficits around 5 to 6% of GDP. This can't go on forever. Now, the really painful part. Interest. We don't just owe the principal. We pay interest on this debt every single year. Right now, interest payments alone are approaching $1 trillion annually. That's more than what we spend on national defense. Think about that. Money that could have gone to roads, education, or research is instead going to bondholders, some domestic, some foreign governments like China and Japan. And as interest rates rise or stay high, this bill keeps getting bigger. It's like a credit card you never pay off, except this one belongs to the entire country. So why hasn't it crashed yet? For now, the US dollar is still the world's reserve currency. People trust us. We can borrow at relatively low rates because everyone wants safe US treasuries. But that trust isn't unlimited. If investors start worrying that we'll keep printing money or that political gridlock will block any real solution, interest rates could spike. Higher rates mean even more interest payments, which means bigger deficits, which means more borrowing. It's a dangerous loop. You get it, right? Now let's talk about what this means for regular people like you and me. Higher national debt doesn't mean your personal credit score will drop tomorrow, but it does crowd out other things. When the government borrows so heavily, it can push up interest rates for everyone. Mortgages, car loans, business loans. This slows down economic growth over time. Wages may grow slower. Future generations could face higher taxes or reduced benefits to pay for today's spending. And in a real crisis, if confidence drops, we could see inflation rise as the government tries to manage the debt, which hits everyday prices the hardest. Some people say, don't worry, we can grow our way out of it. Strong economic growth does help. If the economy grows faster than the debt, the ratio improves. But right now, the debt is growing faster than the economy. Others point to history. After World War II, we had high debt and brought it down through growth and fiscal discipline. But today's situation is different. We don't have that post-war boom, and entitlement spending is on autopilot. The truth is, there's no easy fix. Cutting spending dramatically hurts popular programs. Raising taxes significantly slows growth and faces massive political resistance. The most realistic path is a mix. Smarter spending, some revenue increases, and policies that actually boost long-term growth, like immigration reform, infrastructure, and education. But for that, both parties need to sit down and make tough choices, instead of kicking the can down the road. Here's what really bothers me. This isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a choice about what kind of country we want to leave behind. Every trillion we add today is a promise that future taxpayers will have to keep. We've seen what happens when countries ignore rising debt. Greece in the 2010s, Argentina multiple times. The US is not them. We have the world's biggest economy and the deepest financial markets. But ignoring the warning signs is how even strong countries slowly lose their edge. So this debt crisis isn't some dramatic collapse coming next year. It's more like slow pressure building up. The question isn't whether we can keep borrowing forever. It's whether we're willing to change course before the interest burden starts squeezing everything else. Good news? We still have time. Bad news? If we keep pretending the problem will solve itself, time will run out. So what do you think? Can Washington fix this before it becomes a real emergency? Or are we heading toward tougher choices down the road? Let me know in the comments.